go, oh, Josh always does the intro, and then you'd be like, oh yeah, he does, doesn't he? Don't give me any of the limelight.
Hi guys, welcome to Critical 3. I'm Tyler.
Oh, I'm Josh. It's alright, go.
Welcome.
WandaVision.
Welcome and all that.
And all that. Speaking of that, if you've not watched the new show, chatting that,
Chatting that,
go and watch it. Well,
pretty good,
yeah,
that.
it's good. It's alright. So, WandaVision.
It's alright.
Yeah.
Bloody marvellous.
It's what Carl says, isn't it? Carl Pilkington, isn't it? What do you think of that? That's alright. So, yeah, we're back with WandaVision. The most popular TV series ever.
Yeah, streamed TV series. I don't know if it quite beats Game of Thrones. Because that's actually TV, isn't it?
Mm.
So this is like the popular streamed TV series. So whether that's a difference, I don't know. But anyhow, yes, WandaVision, mate. Episode 5.
Nice. Yeah, 5. I
Right.
know which one we're on.
Yeah. At the start, mate, you had to ask me if you were skipping ahead of episodes. Going on.
I think it kind of goes to show what I thought of the episode. Then I guess really.
I don't know, because a lot of stuff happened in this episode that was kind of like a build episode rather than a EastEnders Duff episode. Does that make sense? So it was more like a. What are you talking about?
Well,
what are you putting that place
because
for?
a Duff is what you're referring to is kind of like a big ooh, but there is a kind of a big moment at the end.
Yeah, there is a Duff at the end, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, you go in. Oh, there's nothing happening, mate. Oh, big Duff. I mean.
Duff.
So there's a couple of bits that happen in the episode. It's more like the whole episode is more like a build and like continue to character build and introduce characters more permanently within it. Like Agnes comes in and refers to herself as Auntie Agnes.
Yeah, isn't it that strange bit at the beginning, or am I thinking of an episode behind? Don't she mess up one of the lines? It's like, oh, we start over again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So she refers to herself as Auntie Agnes, and then she says something, and then says, "Oh, I didn't say that right. Do you want me to start that again, Wanda?" And then Wanda's like strucken by it, taken back by it, and then continues on like, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah, we'll start again." So yeah, interesting. Vision doesn't seem to like her either. That's one thing. When she's saying, "Oh, I've got," there's a particular line. It's like, "Oh, I've got lots of tricks up my sleeve." That's what she says. That's a specific line from the show. And Vision looks a bit like, not sure what to make of you, like that sort of thing. You know, he has that kind of look on him. It's a bit like, bit unsure. You know.
Yeah.
Whereas Wanda just seems, you know, she's up for it. She's up for whatever. You know.
Not in that sense.
Nice.
If you haven't watched the episode.
So yeah, it's interesting. Of course, then we have like the kids. They grow up throughout the episode, so they're upstairs and then they come downstairs and they're like really 4 years older. And then I think that's when they say, "Oh, can we have a pet?" And then she says, "Oh,
Not until you're 10.
you have to be this age. You have to be 10 or something, yeah, to have a pet." And then they grow up, don't they, into 10-year-olds, and then they get Sparky, the dog.
Which is actually in the comics.
He's actually in the comics, but he's a symbiozoid. Look at me with all these big words.
With the facts.
He's a symbiozoid in the comics, so he's a spawn of Vision. Yeah, so it's a little.
Oh, go on.
Yeah, it's well, no, that's what I was gonna say. It's just a little different than what, you know, the portrayal of Sparky is in the show. That's what I was gonna say.
That's it. It's kind of getting that point, touching on Vision and Wanda, that Wanda's just kind of in her own world, and Vision is just noticing more and more of these weird bits and things that don't make sense, and it's like, it's kind of, you get to the point that at one point he's just going to be like, am I the only one seeing this? Like, like, obviously this is not normal.
Yeah.
Normal. But, so yeah, like I said, not too much happens. But, like I said, it's kind of weird because you've got, obviously, the neighbour who's been there from, like, episode 1. And the kids grow up just in front of her. And she don't act like, oh, that's weird. It's like the powers and the stuff is just starting to become the norm, and they're not hiding it as like they was at the beginning.
Yeah. Well, Vision does notice something different as well about kids. He goes, "Oh, there's no other kids. There's no other
Yeah.
kids about." You know what I mean, and then she's like, "Oh, yeah, I know." Good dialogue, that, I know.
No kids bar.
But no, like, and Agnes at the start of the episodes does a throwaway line again of you can't control kids, can you? Like that. So whether it's a point of, the adults were very easy to manipulate within the hex, but she couldn't control the kids. She couldn't put the kids under the trance. So therefore, that's why there's no kids within it.
Well,
A bit of an interesting.
yeah. Well, like I said, the big kind of lead up to it, as I said in a previous episode, is that the neighbour is, what's her name? Is it Agnes?
Agnes,
she's this, obviously in the comic book, that she's this witch, and that's kind of what is like. No, I won't say it's leading up to, but that's kind of like the rumor that's going around.
The sense you get.
Yeah, and
the sense you get of it is that she's going to be this like known witch in the comics.
Well, even if not, it's like that there's something more to this person's character than what's letting on. Like,
yeah, because she becomes like a permanent character within this episode, whereas before she just kind of fluttered in and out. She's been like any of the other characters in it, but this time she's like a stapled character.
Yes.
In this episode.
Yeah, and like I said, it's just really weird. It's and like I said, it's getting interesting. Like I said, every time I do one, it's these little weird bits that are kind of keeping me hooked in. Again, it still don't really show where it's going or how it's gonna evolve. But yeah, like I said, I did enjoy this episode. You just get the sense that Wanda's kind of losing it a bit more, losing the control, which I don't know, as weird as this sounds, it kind of annoys me because I like the fact that Wanda has control of everything, and that like, do you know what I mean? I just kind of like get the sense that she's kind of slowly starting to lose it a bit.
But is it because the hurt and the rage that she has for Vision, is it that's keeping?
As in overwhelming.
The heck, yeah. Well, no, as in like, was it that was giving her overpower? Because very very OP, very overpowered. When it comes down to it, is it that's kind of like forcing that and driving that? And now as things are kind of happening, is that kind of weakening, those senses weakening? She's coming to terms with things like that. Yeah. Obviously, a major thing we have in this is the dog Sparky. Agnes, funnily enough, finds the dog Sparky, and the kids are like, "Oh no, dog's dead, dog's dead." And that reminds me of Come Fly With Me.
Oh right, yeah. The dog's dead.
Where he comes up and he put dog's dead. Yeah, right. No, carry on. Right. Yeah, they're all a bit sad, and then Wanda kind of has to have the conversation to say, "Oh, you can't resurrect the dead." Bit of a what do you call it? Hypocritical moment, really, isn't it? She's, Vision's back. Bring the dog back.
Yeah.
What's the dog gonna do? What's the dog ever done?
Yeah. It's weird how that neighbour happened to be the one that found it.
Well, in the comics, which I can say because it's in the comics, is that the dog Sparky dies because of in finding what's his name, Grim Reaper. He finds Grim Reaper, the character, the villain, and bites him and electrocutes him and dies underneath a house.
After the bone, was he?
After the bone, yeah. Bit weird.
Grim Reaper, bone body, like dog.
good one. Yeah, so there is like they were saying there was a title sequence as well in the in a couple of before where you saw a house and underneath it was the Grim Reaper's helmet
What, is it an end
underneath
credits
the
scene?
house. No, the starter credits.
Oh,
So this not of this episode, but I think of the last episode where it was the cartoony.
right.
Can you
Yeah,
remember?
I might have to
Like the
go back and look
cartoony
at that.
ones. Yeah, but there's it was just a video I watched, and they said you can see the helmet
Yeah.
there. So that's pretty interesting. Whether this obviously was touched on it in the first episode. There's this unspoken character, wasn't there? Was it Ray or
The
something? Wasn't it?
boss.
Is that going to be the Grim Reaper? Is the Grim Reaper partner in that?
Oh, yes, you on about husband.
Yeah, there was like a spoken character, but you never saw him.
Yeah, that could be really interesting.
Interesting. Just piecing things together, that's kind of the sense that it gives me. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Of course, probably the last thing.
I was going to say, the last thing, the biggest thing, which probably everyone's talking about as this video is now late, is Quicksilver. Like
Petro.
how it was filmed. And I love that they addressed this. How it was filmed, it was like, oh, is it the same guy from Kick-Ass who originally played him? But no, you get the X-Men Days of Future Past version. And even the obviously the woman, she says, oh my god, she's recasted him. So it's a nice kind of like way of getting around that. Or like, but that's what I mean. As she recasted him, is that for just Easter egg purposes, or is it actually?
Is he here to stay?
Yeah, or is it actually him from the X-Men universe? Knowing that Disney bought him.
Yeah, interesting. That's something again that we can't tell until we watch the other episodes, I guess. But yeah, interesting. Definitely an interesting episode. Like I said, there's a couple of things that happened. Talking on it. You said at the start that that you didn't feel like much happened. You didn't really enjoy the episode, but when you talk about it and what did happen, there was actually quite a bit to talk about. When you didn't feel like there was, but it's definitely an interesting one.
It's I think I preferred, like I said, this episode to the last one. I think I enjoyed it a little bit more than what the fourth one was.
Yeah.
So, because the fourth one, I believe, is the Breaking the Wall one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. So it was nice to kind of go back and.
Well, especially had the kids want it, and then Vision goes to the doctor, and that was that episode, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's a bit. But it's definitely leading up to something, and maybe the next episode we'll get something a little bit more juicy to talk about, hopefully, because we need it, don't we? We're about set for it. So, let's hope, fingers crossed, that, this episode 6, it'll be now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is a
Do you
good
know how
one.
many of these altogether?
No. I know there was rumours coming out that the last 3 episods were going to be as long as a feature film.
Yeah.
An hour to an hour and a half
That'd
each,
be really good.
rather than the 20 minutes. So, that'd be really good, wouldn't it? Yeah, definitely. A bit more content to watch and that, and rather than it, having to wait a week, you can actually watch a good chunk of it as well. So that'd be good. But yeah.
Nice. Well, that's it, guys. If you've watched it, which hopefully you have. Obviously, I know these videos are slightly behind. That's your timeline of Disney releasing them. But if you haven't watched it, go and watch it. It's a great series. It's good to kind of start and catch up with us now before we release the next video.
We're almost caught up as well.
Yeah.
As of next Thursday, the ones we do next Thursday, which will be 7 and 8. We'll be caught up then.
That's it. Nice. So we'll be watching it with you guys, depending on how many there's left. Leave a comment below. What did you think of this episode? Are you suspicious about your neighbour Rooney? Aunt, what's the name again? Always forget the name. Auntie Agnes. Will the dog come back? Will the dog save the day? We'll find out. Who knows?
The dog saved the day.
Yeah, he might just save
just comes in with a cape. Really, Crypto the super dog comes in.
Puppy power.
Yeah, Scrappy Doo.
Put him up.
Yeah. Go on, mate. See us out.
Yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hit that like button. It always helps. Share, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.